Did you read the opening?
Yep.
She can read 3/9 of a book in one day. Ready? What's the unit rate for days? And don't make it more work than it is because it's kind of already up there. Viv. Nope. 3/9 of a book. In, look for those keywords. In how many days? What's the unit rate?
It's 3 over 9 for books and the.
Okay, so what fraction is that?
Oh.
Don't look past the question. Kurt.
1/3 of a book.
Okay, or even if you told me 3/9 of a book per day. So is that less than one book or greater than one book in a day? That's 1/3 of a book per one day. That's the unit rate. Now, here's what's kind of cool. This is kind of, maybe you can see this right away, maybe you don't. Watch what happens. Hopefully this is not going to confuse you. Let's say I do template ratio find, and I make it books over days. Take the given ratio, 3/9 and 1. I'll make it simple first. What number goes on the bottom?
1.
Correct. That's the unit rate, one day. What goes on the top? Marcus.
3.
No, it does not.
Oh, I know.
Try again.
1/3.
1/3 or 3/9. I'm going to keep it 3/9. You can have a fraction on the top part of a ratio. You can also express that as 0.3 repeating, but I'm going to leave it a fraction. Ready? Can you see that that's a 3? What goes here? Oh, time out. Erase that. Make it a 9. Cody? How'd you do it?
Well, 3/9 times.
Go ahead. Yeah.
27 minutes, and that is equal to 3. Because I only have 1 times 9 is 9.
He's got it. All I did to make an equivalent ratio for days, which is 9, is multiplied both sides of the ratio, like we've been doing in TRF, by 9, and this becomes 3 books per 9 days. So technically, when you see this now, and they give you the table, books over days, 3/9 over 1 is the same as 3 books every 9 days. And for even that is sometimes a leap for kids.
Wait, so I did 1/3.
Okay, that's okay too. If you went to the value of the ratio and started your table as 1/3, that's fine too. It doesn't matter because they're all equivalent ratios anyway. But I'm going to take it from 3/9. And if you started this way, finish it with me. What goes here? Keep going. We've already kind of done the heavy lifting because you're going to see, because we did this, the remaining half of this will fall into place. First, the equation for days. I'm hoping that becomes routine for you now. And as I saw from my first class, a lot of kids are getting it pretty much routinely. Foz. All good. We already did the unit rate for days. We did it up here. 3/9 Books or days? 3/9 books per day. What if I ask you to give me the unit rate for books? And this will help you if I say I want unit rate for books, something per book. How many days per book? Dylan, 3 days per book.
Could you reverse it and say one book for every 3 days?
But that's the unit rate. No, because you're giving me then the unit rate for days. And it's not, it is 1/3, it's 1/3 books per day. But every 3 days, I will finish one book at that rate. And I expose this to you now because you're really learning, believe it or not, the fundamentals of dividing fractions. You'll see, hopefully it'll connect in when we actually start mod 2. You're starting to get a feel for it when you're writing your equations too. When you flip the equation or flip the operation, you flip the fraction. Okay, back to basics again. Well, basics, but not so much basics, because some are still having trouble with substitution. How many books? That's what we're trying to find. What's the equation for books? You've already written it. Philip. Here comes a sticking point for a lot of my kids, like at least last period. What do I do next? John. Substitute what in for what? Right, for days, because that's what I'm trying to find. Now look in the word problem and look for the keywords. Well, how many days? Right. 27 has to be substituted in for D. And then you're home free, because we get the answer to how many books that is. Marcus. 9 books in 27 days. We good? All right, ready for a small leap? It's a small one. We'll do it together because it's busy. It's a busy page, as you'll see. First, kind of just take it all in. You have 3 coordinate planes on the left, and then on the right, you have a mix between ratio tables and equations. Our job is try to match up which is which. But all I want you to do right now is just look at the coordinate planes and then look at the stuff on the right, and then we'll talk about it. First thing I'm going to ask you to do, because I just think it's easier if you can do this, is whether it's a coordinate plane or a table, find the unit rate. Sometimes it's already given for you, and sometimes you have to figure it out. Look right here for this first table. Look at 1. And do we have an even number for 1 hour? And if so, what's that number? Right, so we have a unit rate for this first coordinate plane. It is 65 miles per hour. You're all familiar with MPH as miles per hour? The other way you'll see it, get used to that slash as well. Okay, look at the second one. At 1 hour, you have a dot that's in between 30 and 60, right? Don't try to guess, because whoever wrote this as in a sample, if it's not exactly where it needs to be and you're trying to guess, it's not a good idea. But at 2 hours, you do have a nice round figure. At 2 hours, how many miles? Hunt.
290.
Okay, so there is your hours, there's your miles. Find the unit rate based on a ratio of 2 to 90. Don't guess. You're dividing both sides by 2. You might as well do it. Don't guess. Do long division if you have to. You don't want to guess here. If you know the concept, don't make a careless math error. I'm going to let Hunter do it. Let him finish it up. He started.
5,
How much?
45.
45 is correct. Miles per hour can be written that way also. James Bryceland, what about the third one? This guy right here. Do we have a unit rate, or can you figure out a unit rate?
I had to figure one out. No.
Look to see if you have a nice round number at 1 hour. If that's the case, you don't have to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 55 miles per hour, right? All right, so we now have the unit rate for all of the coordinate planes. So now we could try to match it up. Which of the three equations shown is 65 miles per hour? I got two hands on this. Take a look. It's pretty straightforward here. Andrew? Let me restate it. Look at all of your choices. My only choices are A, C, and E. Which one of those three choices is showing you 65 miles per hour? Correct. So you put the letter in E. Which one's showing 45 miles per hour? And I would look on your paper because my page on the screen, I have to scroll up and down. Kurt. Yup, there it is. 45 miles per hour is 45 hours. Basically what it is saying, it's the way it's written here is to figure out miles, 45 hours we'll figure out 45 times whatever hours makes miles, or 45 per one. What does that say? See. Here's the other way you could prove it too. 45 times 1 hour is how many miles? 45 miles per hour. 45 miles per hour. And the only one that's left for the last one is A. Now we have to match up the tables. Get the unit rate for the tables and you're done. First table, 2 to 130 is what unit rate? Which is also the value of the ratio. Go back to what we did 3 lessons ago. Divide both sides by
2.
So you got to figure out 130 divided by 2, and you'll automatically be able to match it up with which coordinate plane that is. Come on, do the work, do the work. 130 divided by 2? Come on, give me that number. Long division. Philip. How much? Or 65 miles per hour. Which coordinate plane? First one, so I take my B, put it here. Find the unit rate for this whoosie watt. Remember your divisibility rules. They're both divisible by 5. Hold it, I want to hear from somebody I haven't heard from yet.
Could there be cooler? Oh, wait.
Ben?
Ooh.
If you do this correctly, guys, you get 55. Which of the coordinate planes is 55 miles per hour? And even though we have elimination, we know the last one's F, let's just prove it. Remember divisibility rules, 3 goes into both because these digits add up to 9, so they're both divisible by 3. Unit rate is your best friend.
I put a B there. It's supposed to be C.
Okay, so 3 into 135 goes how many times, Dill?
B, I thought was.
Goes 45 times, which is 45 miles per hour, which is this guy. You think you could try one on your own? Because the next page is the same exact thing with 3 different coordinate planes and 3 different equations and ratio tables. Give it a shot. If you remember any piece of advice from this point forward, here it is. Unit rate is your best friend. Unit rate is your best friend. What's the unit rate per hour for this coordinate plane? Cat.
70 miles.
And then look, I'll take care of the equation right away. There it is for 70 miles per hour. Look, 70 miles per hour. Done. For this, who's you at? Hunter. Which equation is that?
A.
Good. This one. They're all easy. You don't have to figure out. We have values for every reading at 1 hour. Colin. Okay, equations are done. Now we've got to match up to this. Well, find the unit rate for 6 to 420. Divide both sides by 6. What do you get? 420 divided by 6 gets you the unit rate. Cat.
70.
Correct. Therefore, B goes here. Both divisible by 8. Alex, unit rate for the ratio table for D.
For D,
Put you on the spot.
here, E. It's 50.
Correct. Which is which coordinate plane?
The second one.
D goes here. And then obviously the last one is F. So those are our correct answers. Full screen there so you could see it all in one shot. Any questions on that?
I think that is.
Are we good, Hannah? Why B?
Yeah.
Our unit rate is for at 1 hour is 70 miles. I have to divide. They don't have a value here for 1 to 70. I got to divide both by 6. When I do that, 420 divided by 6 is 70. So this becomes 1 over 70, and that's why it matches up. Go ahead. Let me give back the tests and then go. All right? Everybody, while I'm giving out the tests, do page 6, and then we're all caught up with period 3. I know.